take control of the point with the Head Gravity Tour 2023. Like the Gravity Pro, this Gravity Tour has a dense 18 by 20 string pattern and a 100 square inch head size. It's lighter at 305 grams unstrung, which helps make this racket easier to swing. New for this edition is the Yogzetic technology in the throat that helps optimize how the racket flexes at impact. This racket also benefits from graphene inside, which utilizes Graphene 360 Plus for stability and the easy power of polarized weighting. I was really happy to get a chance to try this Gravity Tour because on paper it's really similar specs to my Prince Techstream Tour 100P, 18 by 20 string pattern, 305 gram unstrung weight, as well as that 100 square inch head size. I really did feel immediately comfortable off the ground with this one with the launch angle. It's similar to mine. It is a little bit lower, more direct. This one does swing with a little bit more plow through than my racket of choice as well. I really loved the feel on this racket. And when I was really using full swings, I was getting great control. I loved the feel at impact. And when the ball was coming at me hard, it felt nice and stable. One issue I did have though was that I did need to use a full swing. If I was playing scared tennis and I was not going after my shots, I was seeing that my balls were landing short or in the net. So keeping that swing speed up and keeping my confidence up was key to finding success with this racket. At net, I loved the stability and the feel. I'm not one who throws in those drop shots like Chris, but I did feel confident enough to drop the ball short now and then. On serve, once I got the racket going, I really enjoyed the feel again, as well as the power, and I was able to access just enough spin on my serve to feel confident starting points. Overall, I really do like this racket. It does require me to play confidently and swing out, but really fun to play with.
I really enjoyed the Gravity MP, so I was really looking forward to trying out this tour model. And the first thing I immediately noticed with this racket was that launch angle. Now, I don't typically hit with 18 by 20 rackets, so I had to get used to that lower launch angle, which meant that I was aiming higher over the net because initially I was just hitting the top of the net more often than I was used to. Now on my ground strokes, I really enjoyed the directional control I was getting with this racket. I felt like I was just hitting my targets really well with it. I think from the baseline, my favorite shot to hit was my backhand slice. Felt like it was just cutting through the air really well, through the contact really well, and I was able to knife my shots. I will say though that I don't think I was shaping my shots as well with this racket compared to the Gravity MP, not just because of the tighter string pattern and the less spin I was getting, but also I felt like it just wasn't coming through contact as easily. It felt like a little bit more sluggish than the Gravity MP to me. Now, from other areas of the court, I really enjoyed it on my volleys and on my serves. It just felt really stable and solid in those areas. Not necessarily the most powerful, but I didn't feel like I really needed it there. Overall, I think if you're an advanced intermediate level player looking for the control from an 18 by 20 string pattern and wanting a racket that has great feel, then you're gonna love this one.
I've been playtesting a couple different rackets that have similar specs. So while there was an adjustment period, it wasn't as long as I was expecting. It took about 1 or 2 hours for me to start getting comfortable with this racket. Now on the baseline, right off the bat, I found it was offering a low powered response, definitely more control oriented. So this just made me swing through a little bit more, swing through with a little bit more aggressively, and that helped create some extra pace as well as some depth as I was hitting short right at the beginning. For me, I really like to rally with this racket. It was something about hitting cross courts I could get in a great groove, but I found myself in a little bit of trouble when I was playing points and trying to end them aggressively. It was one of those rackets where it was really fun for me to play with and I really liked it, but it didn't quite suit my game style. I like to take the ball early, be aggressive, kind of change directions, and I think someone that's more of a craftier player will appreciate this more. I really liked it on my slice, that being said, and actually when I headed to the net, I really enjoyed this racket on volleys. It was definitely my favorite shot to hit. The combination of being really stable and the feel, I really felt like I couldn't miss. I think my first rally with it, I made like 15 or so volleys in a row, which is a little bit unheard of for me. So I loved coming up and finishing the point up at net. And when it came to serves and returns, like most rackets, I really preferred to return with this Gravity Tour. For me with serves, I had to put a little bit more effort into getting power and spin. And with the return, I was able to kind of step up, shorten my stroke and really go after the ball to start off offensively. Overall, I think players that are looking for a low-powered, control-oriented frame with a great feel should try this one.
You just heard Britt mention this is a good fit for crafty play as well. I like nothing more than finishing a point with a drop shot, and I found this the perfect racket to do it with. Has tons of feel of control. I really enjoyed it from all areas of the court. I was serving well with it. My ground strokes were really working well with this racket too. It was a great mix of just enough power to help me get the ball through the court, but tons and tons of control and feel for me to dial in my targets and really be able to go for the lines and be super aggressive with this racket. Up at net, loved it on my little touch and angle volleys. Just had way too much fun with this racket. And then, yeah, with serves and returns, again, good blend of pace and spin for me. I thought it was really good on a slice backhand. So a bit of a love fest for me with this one, and really, really enjoyed the playtest.
For this review, we strung the Gravity Tour with Head Links Tour at 53 pounds. For more information on this racket or any others, please check us out at Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.